internet.
I want to read chat.
Dude, people are addicted, man. I try to keep my hands off of chat. I'm just like,
No, dude, I love chat experience.
Someone's
Chat's
saying
A1.
saved.
It is.
Refresh, re.
wow.
Someone
Albert
has
just,
streaming
Albert
videos
just
on
walks
chat.
into
Actually
the
just broke
area
it. Yeah,
and it
he
just
fixes
saves
it.
it. It's like, shit.
Hey, can I get a seems
Alright.
good if we're good? Chat, thank you guys for always being so helpful.
Yeah, helpful.
We'll go with that.
I mean, kind of helpful. Like, they'll tell you when it's bad. That's kind of what matters.
They tell me when it's bad a lot. But it's not about my stream. I'll just-
All right, friends. So the first topic of today is dun dun. League of Legends. Why are you making that face?
I was just curious. I didn't know where we were gonna go with first.
Oh,
So
we're
let's
going
go.
with this first?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we're just diving right in.
Okay.
League of Legends versus Fortnite.
We got an hour and 51 minutes.
Scarra begins.
Alright, I'm
Here's this week's match rundown.
Honestly, this topic could go on for like a very long time.
I
Really?
know. That's
think
why I'm just opening it right up. Then we can do
Okay,
the
wanna-
maybe juicier stuff
Well,
down the road.
so how are we gonna open?
So,
Alright.
for starters, I want everyone to go over their experience with either game so that people, know where you're coming from. So, Scar.
You want me to start?
Yeah.
I feel very good about it. Okay, so I guess we'll start with Fortnite because everyone is like, have you played Fortnite? Yeah. One, I should say that I've never kind of developed an FPS skill set. So a lot of people who have or played FPSs in the past, like their skill set translates really easily. CS:GO to Fortnite, like PUBG to Fortnite, like all these kind of FPSs can translate really easily. I played like RTSs and like MMOs, and then translated that into like MOBAs. And so like I suck at FPSs, but I think Fortnite's pretty enjoyable. The problem with Fortnite for me is that like I don't really enjoy FPSs, and I don't really enjoy the fact that it's not super competitive. So like I played it a little bit, and like ever since then I really haven't touched it since. And for League of Legends, dude, I've been playing this game for 8 years. Like since season 1, was a professional player, analyst, coach. So I can just go down the list. Like seriously, I think it's a great game, but it's got like problems staying afloat in the sense that like keeping relevancy after 8 years is tough.
Valid.
All right, I'll go next just because we'll go down the line. I played League for like 6-7 years, a long time.
And then we converted her.
Relax. But kinda. I played League for a long time, and I'm someone who has like a very addictive personality. So when I get into a game, like I'm just super into that game. Before that, it was like Maple Story, and before that, it was like Endless Online. So I was mostly like MMOs or, I never really touched FPS games. I played guns for like a month, and then my brother told me to stop because he said shooters were his thing. So MMOs had to be my thing.
Oh, okay.
And then afterwards, I just played MOBAs for years and years. And Fortnite is the first game to like really grab my attention for a long time. And yeah, as Smith said, I'm a little bit converted. I still like League, but it's just very, very hard to
a whole
play
lot.
2 games while trying to get better at one. So I'm focusing most of my time on Fortnite, yeah.
Converted. So I used to play, I want to start off with actually League since I'm like, I mean, you guys all know that I play a shit ton of Fortnite and whatnot. But so I used to play League back in season 2, season 3. Like I think around Gangplank release is when I initially downloaded the game. Is that right
feel
though?
like
Was
you're
that around
so
season 2 or
impressed.
season 3?
I
don't
I don't
recall.
even remember, but that's a long time.
Yeah, I remember
ago.
like him being the login screen.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this guy looks cool. And he was on like free week, and I was like, okay. I played what is the one game mode where it's not Rift, but it's like a big circle?
ARAM?
No,
Dominion.
Dominion.
Do they have that
in
still?
peace. No.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
a throwback.
So I think like one of my first matches were just playing Dominion GP, and I was like, "Yo, this guy's really fun." Like I just hit one button and he does a lot of damage, so I like it. So I played League for I think 4 years, and then I stopped playing League. I started watching the comp scene, fell in love with TSM and everything that they did in there, and then I stopped playing League. And before I play League, actually, I used to play a lot of FPS games, which is strange. Yeah,
That
so
you
I actually have
switched
a
to
really
League,
good
yeah.
mix of both. I come from as a child, I used to play a lot of FPS games: Halo, Call of Duty, Battlefield, and then I quit playing those to play League. And then after, yeah, I know, downgrade.
What the fuck?
God damn.
Relax,
kidding, no.
relax. This
Listen,
is
you're
not a
outnumbered
Flame
here.
Riot
Yeah,
episode.
League's good. But no. Then I stopped playing League, and I think I moved on because I noticed I started just being really toxic. I was like really bad. It was like taking a toll on me, and I was like, I'm not getting better. I suck at
Mo's
this
like,
game.
oh yeah,
But I also
I
just
feel
blame
that.
my teammates all the time. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna play this anymore. And then I went on like this loop adventure of like trying to figure out what game to play. and then I found Paragon.
Really?
Yeah.
You're exciting Scarra so much.
Oh
It's
my
really
god! No
cute.
one
Like
knows.
Paragon?
No one knows about Paragon.
That's how I started. That's how I started my relationship with Epic.
Epic?
Yeah.
Like I knew Epic because my friend who knew my other friend Nathan Mooney. Like
Mooney. That's my dad. That's my
Really?
Epic Games dad.
He moved
Yes.
to Paragon, and then like
Yeah.
and I was like, "What is this game?" And it's a MOBA FPS, and it did really poorly and died.
Such a great concept.
Aww.
And yeah, sure, the concept.
Dude, same with MXM.
Yeah. So
that was a great game.
Yeah.
they died. It died, and then I was like, "Oh, Paragon's done for," you know. And then they went Fortnite PV, and I was like, "Oh, it's still done for." And then they went the Battle Royale. I'm like, wait, they killed it, you know. And then all of a sudden, everyone I know who works at Epic, like Erica and him, they're going nuts, dude. They're going crazy.
Yeah.
I gotta talk to them sometime. Now they're probably rich as hell. I need to hit them up.
I was actually at the Pro-Am I like reconnected with all of them because I was a pretty like staple community member in the Paragon community you remember Shimby by chance, like the K-pop hero, like had like
Yeah, I actually did.
Yeah, so I was like the group of 3 people that like no life Shimby and played her right out of release no matter like how bad she was, and wanted to get really good with her because she was like the only hero in the game that had a skill cap that had a really high skill cap.
People got pissed off of this character because she's literally K-pop girl.
Yeah.
Like legit K-pop.
Yeah, the entire community flamed Epic because they're like, this doesn't follow the art direction of the
Exactly,
game.
like her
Really?
announcement and her trailer, people were just so pissed. If you could go back and look at like their tweets,
Comments.
people were
You
upset.
can see the
Why
YouTube comments
would
still.
they be so upset?
It's like
Just a
Because the
cutesy girl.
Paragon community is hella dumb. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Isn't it good to have diversity in characters?
Oh yeah, it is. But they were like, we like the dark, badass stuff, so let's only keep that. It was weird.
Come on, man.
But yeah. So further on, I stopped playing Paragon. Actually, day 1 of Fortnite Battle Royale coming out, I seen the trailer and I was like, yeah, it's over. And then I just started playing Fortnite every single day since.
Nice.
From pre-release. So that was like when you had to have owned Save the World to actually play Battle Royale. So that was like day 1 on
Holy.
Yeah.
You've actually been playing since day 1.
that. Yeah.
Right. Mo, what about you?
Oh, and I love Fortnite.
Oh,
Got to
the
add
follow up to Myth. Here we go, dude.
It just went from like a long ass essay to me just like replying back with a K. That's it. That's like basically like what this is. But basically, I started playing like, for me, like I'm surprised you said Guns. That's like my favorite games of all time.
Really?
Even though I didn't play it that much, like because I played it for like 2 years maybe before it just got deleted. It was like my favorite game of all time. But I started League in season 4 like pretty recently. Like 5 years, but like it still feels like it was yesterday. Pretty much just stuck with League this whole time. Started streaming 2 years ago, and so I started playing Fortnite. Like I remember when it came out initially, and my friend pre-ordered it for like $30. And then I was like, I'm not buying a game for $30. Like, that's crazy. Buying games nowadays just sounds kind of crazy to me. Like,
Yeah,
for
I know.
games, everything's just free. Like, I'm not going to pay for something.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't pay for shit.
Whoa.
Well, free games that you can buy skins. Sure, like, I've spent hundreds of dollars on Fortnite.
On
Yeah,
skins,
but, like,
but the
League, I've spent
actual game,
thousands, But, like, yeah, hell no.
that's the formula. That's the formula.
Legit spent thousands
You
of
gotta
dollars
get
on
people
skins, but I
hooked
won't
first
pay
before you
$8 for
ask
a
them
game.
to open their wallet.
Jesus.
Yeah, I got enough. The game's good. But, yeah, I thought Fortnite was a kid's game. Then, like, it started getting more popular. I was like, you know what? I'll try it out. Why not? Because I played a lot of PUBG. And then I played Fortnite. I enjoyed it. But the thing is, over time, like, I'm a really competitive guy. So if Fortnite's, like, it's not that competitive to me. Because, like, sure, it's like, oh, you got to win. Nice. You go in another game? Oh, I got to win. I beat some more bad players. Like, I'm trying to, like, get better, like, play against better players.
Scrim Discord? Want to come to Scrim Discord? No? Yeah?
That's okay. It's okay. I'll stick with League. But, like, like, obviously you could get to the the stream scrimming, all that stuff, and, like, you'll play against, like, the top level players. But until then, like, you're kind of just stomping on noobs all the time. And I'm really
Actually, it's really
competitive.
boring.
Yeah. Like,
It's
if
really
they
boring.
released a rank ladder, I'm sure I'd be able to grind Fortnite. But for me personally, I can't play the game for more than 3 hours. That, like, let me take, like, a 10-minute break and just chill. No, it's not even that I'm that good. Like, I'm...
No, but
Dear
it's
God.
true. You are pretty
I'm just
good.
kidding.
But, like,
It's all
it's...
good.
It's
You are
funny you
good.
say that. The only thing I remember about you when we first played together, I asked you, "Hey, Matt, do you ever get stream snipers?" He's like, "Honestly, I don't know because they're so bad.
Doesn't matter,
They're
yeah.
so bad that like I can't tell."
But
They've
here's the
evolved.
thing.
What the-
It's not even that they're so bad. It's just like if you've been playing since day one,
No,
Every player's kind of the
that
same.
was a true ass statement, though.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Because like
I was like, tier goals.
I started actually realizing that I was getting stream sniped when, so you know like how Blitz came back around like recently, right? Mm-hmm. The whole Blitz game mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started playing that, and basically all the sweats played Blitz this time around because everybody was like in love with Blitz at this point. It came, I think it was the third time it was around or the second time, and by that time, like everybody knew that Blitz was the funner, faster
Game
paced, and
ARAM for League.
No,
every single player
yeah,
that
I mean
actually knew how to play the game was playing Blitz, and it was ridiculous. So I hopped on Blitz one day with like showing my like lobby queue, and I was like, I land in Gus Cinnamon Roll, and people just rotate for no reason out of retail row to come to Gus, and that's not a rotation anyone makes. You don't rotate from retail row to the shore to Gus. Yeah. It's the other way around. Like there's no reason why you go outside of the map to rotate to Gus to get the 2 chests that exist there. And at that point I was like, checked replays, and literally this guy he lands, grabs a shotgun and beelines me, and I'm like, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and this was like once I was starting to get back into the swing of things, so I was like kind of still warming up because I like this month has been crazy when it comes to my schedule. Like I haven't streamed as much as I wanted to, so I came back like super rusty, and just all these people were like stomping on me in Blitz, and I was like, oh god, I was like, what's happening? But I was like, oh, they're all stream snipers.
Yeah.
Cool.
I know that feel. It especially sucks when you're not as good as him.
But when I play pubs though, I don't
People
really.
just ruin your
I
game.
still don't really realize.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm sure like it's like playing normal games in League. That's kind of how I see it.
All right. Well, I thought it'd be interesting to.
Wait, we just cut his intro.
I did my intro.
Oh,
No,
you
he's
did your full
done.
thing?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
What?
keep going. No, don't worry about it.
I'm a simple guy.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Literally a
less
KO
is more.
Anyways, I thought it'd be interesting to talk about both games right now because from what I hear, the League meta is pretty messy.
They're like
And
bottom.
we'll
Yeah.
talk about it. And the Fortnite meta, they recently posted something about how they're planning on doing balance changes.
Oh yes.
So
they have.
there's a lot of juicy stuff to talk about, but I want to preface it by saying this is not a Flame Riot or Flame Epic or Flame any game type
yes, it
of
is.
discussion.
Oh,
No, it's
hell
not.
yeah, it
Like
is.
Yes,
there are things that I love and dislike about both games. We're just here to talk about them. I have like no agenda or
I have no
idea I'm
knowledge.
trying to put out. Okay?
I went to LCS
Ooh.
How
recently.
is that?
Yeah, they didn't play Bruiser bottom.
Yeah.
Well, they played Vlad bot. That's something. Like,
Oh no,
What?
Were you only there for
TSM
one
did it.
game, or?
Oh, the TSM versus CLG. They both played just like
Yeah,
typical
yeah,
bot
yeah.
lanes, and I was like, that's strange.
All the for
I think.
competitive, it's like 70%.
Yeah.
What is the format
Okay.
now? Is it just best of ones?
Yeah, it's. Just
I
best of
wonder what it
ones.
would be like in best of threes. Because
Less
maybe they
bruisers.
wouldn't it be more?
I think people are more. Bruisers are more like I would say, cheese strategies and less
The wild
Yeah.
card.
Yeah, they're super good. And so you
Oh,
would play.
so it'd be more likely in best of
yeah,
ones?
best of ones. People are looking for that win. They're like anything for the win, pretty much.
Okay, so could you kind of describe the league meta right now?
I think what happened. 80 got their.
You too, Mo, if you want to add in
Okay.
anything.
No, I'll let
80's
Steph
got their
start.
base meta or base stats nerfed.
Their
So
base
people
armor,
were just
yeah.
like, hey, let's try throwing random shit here, and they started doing that, and it worked. And I think that like this is great for the game, but what happens is generally that people are trying stuff and it sucks. And so I think that bruisers are not nearly as strong as people think. It's just the first time people have been able to innovate, and people are going wild. They're like, "Holy shit, we can throw like fucking like
Vladbot.
Vladimir here, and why not
Pantheon
throw
Vi
like
considered a
J4,
bruiser?
right?
what?
Is Vi considered a bruiser?
Vi's considered garbage.
Oh, okay.
Like Vi,
Yeah,
is she like
It's
is she a
so
bruiser though? Like
long.
her
she's
general
like,
role?
yeah,
She's a bruiser, yeah.
yeah, somewhat,
Okay,
somewhat.
so no, the reason
like
I
a
was like
fighter.
giggling over here on the side is because back in I think it was like the second season that I ever played ranked, or no, the first season that I played ranked, I decided to take Vi bot as ADC, and I won like 5 games in a row.
Yeah,
But
people.
it was like back when Vi
Damn.
was just
Yeah,
hella dumb.
the great thing is like people
interesting.
don't know how to play against
Yeah.
these new picks, so they just suck against them, and
Yeah.
then people suck playing them. So you just dice roll every game, and
Yeah.
that's why people think the meta is really weird right now. On top of the fact that it's super fast paced, it's probably like one of the earliest game snowballing metas that we've had. So like everyone's playing a lot of random bullshit, and even if they suck at it, they might win.
Do you hear people saying that they enjoy this meta though? 'Cause
Yeah.
all I hear is complaining.
Well, I hear streamers, like 90% of streamers just like
Yeah.
love it because it's like just trolls fun. Like who gives a shit? Like especially games kind of end so quick now. Like you get a lead early, you just win the game kind of. It's like honestly pretty troll, but I enjoy it. I know a lot of pros that I'm friends with. Like they're pretty split. Like half of them like it's fun. Like I get to try new things, and then others are like it's not competitive. Like I'm scared to get like kicked off my team just for not being able to play some shit I shouldn't know how to play. Like,
Yeah, for pro
That's
players,
scary.
it's like legit. One of the coaches was like, wouldn't be surprised to see ADs retire in this meta because they have to learn how to play random stuff like Ornn bottling tanks, and they have to play like Vladimir like mages, and they've refined their skill set.
In a certain
You
role.
remember how I talked about everyone played FPS, the skill sets like kind of translate?
Yeah, that's kind of the same way.
6
in
years of
League, yeah.
ADs being exactly the same, and now they have to play like Yassuo or Aurelia.
Oh, that
They're
must really
shit.
suck for them.
Awful at it. Like just like this guy watches AD play,
I watch it,
ADs
yeah.
play, and
I watch people play Yasuo that know how to play Yasuo, and it's so bad. But the thing I like that's pretty interesting about it is like it goes both ways to both teams. Like say the ADC player is playing like an ADC and the other ADC player playing Yasuo. People don't know how to play against the Yasuo because they're not used to playing against him in lane, so they get shit on. But also the Yasuo doesn't know how to play, so it's literally just like
So
Scarra
they're
said, it's
both at
literally
a
just, like,
disadvantage,
you flip a
basically.
coin, and it's like, all right, you win. That's how it works. But yeah, I think over time it's just gonna get worse for the ADC player because people are gonna learn how to play that champion a lot better. Like people are gonna learn, like the ADC players are gonna learn Vlad and shit on them even harder.
I see.
so 3 weeks in LCS of like coin flip stuff, and then like 3 weeks of them relearning their old stuff. And that's gonna be the first 6 weeks of LCS this year or this split. I'm pretty
Holy.
sure.
And then, do you want to go over the Fortnite meta and maybe what the
Oh, I'm
posts
really
that they
interested.
posted
Have
today,
you read the
like what they
posts?
I have
plan on
not.
changing?
All I know is whenever Fortnite talks about anything, I can look at your Twitter and literally,
Yeah,
like,
I don't even need to read
Yo,
it.
that's why I was
Like-
so excited for today's podcast because I know you love to talk about that stuff, and I know he
Yeah.
loves to talk about that stuff. So I'm
Yeah.
like,
I like
dive
I like
in.
balance when it comes to Fortnite, especially because I hold that game like really close
I
to my
wish you
heart.
were in the Fortnite community just so you could like counter all
And
his
I-
points. It would be like the greatest
I'm-
debate of all
yeah.
time.
So I'm very much the person that goes against everybody else in the community. Not to just do it though. Like I have my reason. What do you
like,
mean?
deep down a little
No.
bit, a little
No,
bit.
no, not
Like,
even-
you-
no,
yeah, I
no,
know
no.
you think it's
Okay.
fun though.
No, I don't think it's fun. I mean, it's interesting to see other people's opinions, and it's good to spark conversation about these changes and stuff. But overall, I guess my opinions on things have been very brown nosy, I guess, in other people's eyes. So Epic released this post today, and the post basically goes over the way they're gonna combat making future balance changes to the game. And right now they're gonna be focusing on correcting the stale, boring, annoying late game meta that exists right now.
Which is, if you had to describe it.
So yeah, currently late game consists of, and it's competitive, and it's also pub. It's not like one or the other is benefiting more or less. So right now, let's say pub games. You go into a game. Once you hit the tier 3 circle, zones still take 2 to 3 minutes to actually close in, and you're just sitting in a base waiting for people to rotate out of positions. Which is, there's literally nothing that you bet. Nothing happens. There's 10 people alive. We're all waiting for the zone to close in.
Mm-hmm.
And part of me is just like, just close the zone. Just close the zone. Like, speed it up. And then it ends up being like, okay, you finally kill that random no skin. Like, okay, game ended once the zones close in. But yeah, late game zones take way too long. And then you have the flip side, the comp side, is you have these people building these huge ass bases in late game circles. But instead of rotating off from the floor and then like jumping out of their bases when the zone moves, they just build these sky bases. They just build these sky bases, and what you do is you put a floor panel and then you put a roof on top of it, so it makes it even harder to destroy your structure, your sky
Kill
roof.
through one, you still have to beat
Yeah,
it.
and then you just, whoever has the most campfires wins, because you just plop campfires and you wait for the zone to shrink, and whoever survives. And that's late game meta at the comp scene. That's pretty much, yeah. That's how you determine who wins. And it's funny because I was watching this tournament once, this LAN, right, for I think it was Optic Arena. And one of the commentators was like, I don't know what I just seen. And I was like, no, I know what you've seen. It was bullshit. That's what you've seen. The flawed late game meta is what you've seen. And basically what happened is one guy killed another guy, and then that guy died by the storm, and then it flicked to somebody else, and then he died by the storm, and then there's one guy with campfires bandaging.
Yeah.
Just like, and he's the person who won. He won the game, that match. And I was like, no, what you've seen is a super flawed system.
Okay.
But now, so Epic put this post out, and what they talk about in the post is like, hey, we want to make changes to overall promote different types of play styles, and we don't believe that the general way that things are done now, like just these crazy build fights that happen in late game and stuff, are the best way to go about late game meta and whatnot. We want to promote different types of play styles that don't hinder building, but also kind of promote play styles in general. At least that's what I kind of took away from it. And with that, they said, okay, we're going to be looking at weapon damage, building economy, or they said resource economy.
Wait,
and then they
could
went,
you hold on a sec? Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't mean to cut you off.
It's all good.
But we have a little bit lag. Little bit of technical difficulties.
Okay.
I actually can't tell if it's the internet or if it's the PC.
It's weird hearing this because I have the least amount of Fortnite experience. So like I would say, Mo, you devoted like a good amount of time into playing.
Yeah, I played. Oh, I didn't stream it, but I played it a lot off stream. Like I played League for 6 hours on stream, then
Yeah,
Fortnite
actually,
for
I
like
got
6 off
good.
stream.
It's at like 8
yes.
FPS. I have no idea why.
So like,
That's an interesting topic that I think we're going to talk about as well. Playing off stream.
oh
yeah, we can
shit,
discuss that.
Let's go. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm down.
You don't even do that.
I don't
No,
do that anymore.
I don't. Yeah, I don't ever play off stream.
But that's a problem
Yeah, well, I don't
Yeah,
play League
for
off
me
stream.
personally.
It's just Fortnite. It's like I don't want to stream a game that I'm not good at because I want to like be at that top level if I'm gonna play it. Basically, it's kind
That's
of
my problem too. We are. Wow, we're at.
Don't worry,
15
dude.
18 FPS.
The laptop's like heating up.
FPS.
Man, my new laptop was supposed to come in for this week, but it
Oh.
had some delays.
Yeah,
I
So
know
we
some
don't
stuff
have it
about
for the
laptop
next week.
delays. Wait, did you see what happened with mine?
Mm-mm.
Wait, can I even tell this? A sponsor sent me a laptop, okay,
Yeah.
and I was doing like an unboxing on it. This is all on video, so
Oh
I
my-
unboxed this, and like he's filming me. It's close-ups, and I'm like opening it, and it's upside down. I'm like, whatever, dude. I'll turn it upside down. Turn it upside down. It's the wrong laptop. It's a different like product, and I'm a different brand. I'm just like,
Wait, what?
what the
So-
fuck?
So
No, it's
Talk
straight, it's
about
straight from
that.
Amazon too.
Yeah.
So I open it up and I look and it has a Intel Pentium core. That's a decade old
Yeah.
processor. And so the guy literally from the Amazon warehouse scammed me straight up from like a 2K plus laptop. And I'm here just being like, I can't finish this video, and I just got left
This
with like
live stream?
this. Yeah, no, this wasn't on
Okay,
stream.
okay,
It would have been
let's
so
record, okay.
funny. But I'm left with like this random like decade old laptop that this guy owns, and I'm just like, what do I do? And we're living with Destiny at the time. He's like, yo, you want me to just go back and like, dig up dirt on this guy? Because he like the hard drive is still in there. He gave us
Wait,
like,
did you
Oh,
buy the
snap.
laptop yourself?
No. The sponsor sent it to me, but
Oh, okay.
it was from Amazon
Yeah.
services. So like someone just jacked it from the
Oh,
warehouse.
man.
And the
I see.
funniest thing is they had metal plates to simulate extra weight.
Wow.
And so while I was
Oh,
opening them, I'm like, what are these plates for? This is so weird.
so heavy.
Yeah, and I'm just like, literally my face when you see it, because he has it on video, is just like,
Please post that.
No,
Just the reaction.
I have to wait like a month till after, but like, yeah, well, it's so funny though.
Okay. We good?
Oh. Oh yeah, I see 30 FPS. Man, the CPU is popping. Poor little Dell laptop.
It was not meant for this kind of work.
I know. Hey, okay, I think we're good.
Already saved?
Yeah. I apologize again.
That's all good. So yeah, onward. They basically are hinting at reducing the overall, or like one of the changes that they're hinting that a lot of people took from this post is that they're looking at, so you know how you got like max material is like 999 for every, for wood, stone,
Right.
metal. I think that they're thinking about reducing it and then in turn increasing the amount of materials that you gain when farming,
Ooh.
which is a super
Less
interesting
Minecraft.
concept. Yeah. So I had like I think I sat on my stream for like an hour this morning, just kind of going through the, just talking to chat and figuring out like, okay, what's good about this? What's bad about this? And what's good about it is that currently a lot of people's counter argument is that why are we going to hinder building and build fighting in general? And my sort of reply to that is build fighting doesn't exist the same way it does. It's going to exist in 2 months. People that build fight right now don't understand disengagement practices, and it's super important to build fighting in Fortnite, and you don't see it enough.
What do you mean disengagement practice? Like
People
disengaging a
hopping
fight?
out and
So
breaking the
yeah,
base.
exactly. So there's this thing that I call it resetting the fight in Fortnite. So when you're in the middle of a battle, when you're in the middle of a build battle and somebody takes the high ground over you, it makes no sense for you to try to retake the high ground strictly through building. If the player's competent, you're not going to get the high ground back. It's just not going to happen. There's the distance, and unless you have
But
impulses,
probably
yeah.
nowadays, in most case, good players can do that because most other players can't build as well.
Build fights right now. Build fights happen right now, and that back and forth does happen because players don't know how to take and keep their advantage when they're high. But going up against players that are more knowledgeable, you either need impulses, bouncers, or jump pads to kind of take over somebody's high ground, or you need to reset the fight or disengage. So, and it's funny because as this happened today, I like showed examples on stream of letting like people would take high ground over me and I'll disengage and reset the fight and then capitalize. Yeah. So, and at the end of the day, all right, sorry, no, let me stay on track. So, yeah, so disengagement practices are somebody takes high ground over you. Instead of contesting them, you retreat back down and you reset the fight and make them push towards you. Because at the end of the day, if they want to kill you, they have to come toward you somehow. And you're still able to build, but it just doesn't make sense to waste the materials on that type of build fight. And yeah, so I think the community, the reason why they think it's so bad is because they think that these materials, that these insane amount of materials that we have right now do like they do something good for us right now. And in general, build fights shouldn't take 400, 500, 700 plus wood a fight if you're going up against competent players. Depending on the way the fight progresses, of course. I mean, you could end up in a reset cycle and just both end up with no mats. It's happened to me before against good players. It's actually tragic.
Tragic.
Yeah.
So if they do limit your mats, what do you think the meta would look like, or what would build fights look like in that case?
So meta-wise, it promotes a lot more aggression late game, is what I've realized. So actually today, I decided to stump myself completely and limit myself to 700 mats on all of my things. And I realized it doesn't make sense for me late game to invest 200 to 300 materials into building this high 1x1 because now I'm stuck with like a 400 or 500 map pool to fight against other players. So players, well, I think when Epic does make this change, if they make this change and when they make this change, you're going to see a lot more aggression late game, which I think is what people want.
I think so too.
I'm like very casual at this game,
Yeah,
right? Like
it's all good.
for me, farming mats, I'm just like, oh god, why the fuck did it take so long?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's exactly.
But like to be honest, the way I always saw mats was like, if you're the better player, your mats are infinite. Might as well just have an infinity sign. Because what ends up happening is you kill the people and take their mats, right? And then that's what I always thought is like, if you're
But
a good
recently that was kind of
that's something that
a little
that wasn't
bit.
people. I don't think people conceive that correctly. The floor loot that spawns in these floor nodes that's what
Like
they
the
nerfed.
Yeah, but then
Like the little
the
patch
people
of
that you
wood.
kill generally have less wood.
Is that what happened? Does that happen recently?
Yeah.
Really?
No, I mean
It's 'cause
because
they're picking up less, so
they're
you're
picking
getting
up less.
Oh yeah, but
So you
okay.
get less.
Yeah, so
When you kill
yeah.
them.
So my counter argument to that was, who's getting all their wood from these floor nice loot spawns? These 30.
Skins that I get to kill.
These 20 pieces of wood that you pick up from now and then, like it doesn't really benefit your pool.
I think people generally speak out about it. Whoopsie. Probably because they notice a difference.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, like back on my topic, I was like,
Okay.
only the good players are gonna have infinite mats, and like the better you get, the more mats you have. And so, as a really bad player at the game, I was always like, dear God, like I just ran out again. Like I used 100, I'm like, fuck, where do I find more? Like seriously, that's me when I'm playing the game. And so it's funny to hear from you that like in like the late game, the way I see late game, everyone has just capped.
Really?
'Cause I don't know if
wow.
that's true.
No, it's not.
But in my mind,
Yeah.
it's like when everyone fights, like as the resources all get pooled into 10 people pretty much.
Ideally,
and so like
yeah.
what ends up happening is those 10 people have like 80% to 100% of their resources. But you're telling me that's not the case. That's how I always thought of it.
Yeah, like ideally, that makes sense logically, right? But it's really not because people don't necessarily manage their materials properly. They'll take a fight and then disengage off a fight, or use mats when they shouldn't, or in just like poor situations.
I think one of the biggest things about League is like people don't like it when you can't kill other people. Like,
Yeah.
So like League has like a resolve tree, and people complain about this tree. Literally, this
It's
guy
so
does.
it's just stupid.
It's
It's
a
like-
tree that's built. It's a new rune tree that's built to make sure you can't die, to burst damage, to like consistent DPS. It's just there to make sure you're not able to be
tanky
punished
as
as much as
hell.
other people. And like to be honest, it's caused a lot of frustration for old players because there's like I want to show I'm better than this guy. and like
1v1.
and for no seriously
Yeah.
for
Most like yes.
for newer players, it's like it's nice that they have this kind of like, or not newer players, like worse players. It's nice that they have this kind of leniency. It's like I can take like 5 bad trades instead of 2, because before like you have 2 pots, you take like 3 bad trades, you're out.
You're done,
Now you
yeah.
take like 6 bad trades and you're like still okay.
Yeah.
And so it's really frustrating from a league perspective. So like I always think anything that encourages people to kill each other, that should be the highlight of your game. You're
Yeah.
there because this is a PvP game. You want to kill the other guy. You're bloodthirsty. You want your game to be a massacre.
Yeah.
Even at the highest level of play, like people should encourage that. And I know like League at the highest level of play, it used to be all turtling on this patch. They had to literally make Baron and Elder Dragon give a super buff to where like if you gave up 2 in a row, you lost the game. 100%, literally unwinnable.
Yeah.
So like that, they forced people to stop turtling to fight it. And so, yeah, I think that anything that encourages the game to kill other people more is better, especially if it's a PvP game.
Yeah, and then like one of the changes that a lot of people want to see out of just building, and so Epic didn't make any comments on storm circles really in this note, which is what a lot of people want to see. But I think it's something that they are interested in, but they want to see how affecting the entire like the actual economy like side of the game like alters the meta before they go ahead and like, okay, maybe it's not storms that needs to be changed. Maybe it's the fact that people just have like too many mats at any given moment.
You played Battlerite, right?
Yeah.
Did you play Battlerite?
Yeah.
I actually like that game a lot.
So
It is really
the Battlerite
nice.
system. Did you play Battlerite? The
Oh,
Battlerite
it's so
system
fun.
at the very end is the storm system, right? The
Yeah.
storm comes in, but because you can't build up,
Yeah.
the game gets a lot more intense. Like as you start, the
Yeah.
circle starts going down. People are like, "Holy
intense,
shit!"
yeah.
Right? And so like I look toward Battlerite as like a very pure storm system. Like that's an ideal system, but you guys can't do that because you guys have building and you guys can go vertical and go tall. Ideally, I would say that like if a storm system can match that consistent decrease, maybe at the very last
The storm starts coming in from
So
the top.
one of the biggest suggestions is that at the end of the game, the storm starts dealing damage to your structures.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you're in the zone and you're building, you're good. But if you start like if it starts touching the zone, you'll start deteriorating. So you can't build up, and you have to be aware of what you're on. So
Does
you
it
play toward the lower ground more?
for the storm in Fortnite? Is it like it goes like down, it stops and goes down, stops and goes?
Yes.
I just think that the very last part of the storm, it should consistently go down.
Yes.
Right? Because it's
So
like
there's no. That's oh my god. I talk about literally whenever I'm playing solo matches. I'm like, why am I sitting here? Why am I sitting here? Make me move.
because the last like 10 people should be like the most tense stuff. Like I said, Battlerite, when you're down to like the last 3 people and it's going down, like it doesn't stop, right? It doesn't. It goes in from like Y to like it very slowly goes in, and as you're at the very end, that's where it gets tense. People mess up. People start doing really well. Like you see clutch players, you see like really bad players in clutch moments, you know. And then like that's why I think should happen, you know. Just a very gradual, a consistent decrease when you get to the very end. And I don't think anyone would complain about it because if you're getting to the last 10 players, you're already happy about yourself. And this only affects.
Depends on the player, but yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, dude. But like, if you're in the last 10 people, like you want it to be as interesting for you as possible. And in that situation, you want to just make it so that there's pressure on people to reposition and constantly move toward the most important thing.
The issue, I think that the biggest issue with late game right now, and it's what Epic's trying to correct with like making these changes, that there's just way too much idle time. It allows people to set up for stupid things and create stupid meta.
I mean, the weirdest thing is like I say this about Battlerite, but honestly, the middle of Battlerite has something very big incentive, right? You kill the orb, it gives you 50% of your ulti. So like that doesn't exist. Like if you had a thing that gave you like free mats at the very middle, everyone would run in, right?
Yeah.
Because if it's a lot of mats, like it's worth it at some point. So that doesn't exist in Fortnite. I don't know if it should
Well,
exist.
there's,
That'd be a fun
crates,
LTM.
Like,
I
packages.
think- yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
No,
yeah.
can you imagine
They could
like
test it
can you imagine
out.
some like imagine if Fortnite were to completely redesign the way the game functions.
Yeah,
Right? You know Minecraft Hunger Games?
No.
Okay, so basically it's like that system. So imagine Fortnite. So Minecraft Hunger Games, every single player spawn in a circle, right? And then from that circle, you have to go outwards and get loot.
Okay.
And then that circle will spawn loot midway into the game. It will refresh the loot boxes like midway into the game. So you could either choose to go like back to the middle, or you could like not and fend off. I think it'd be that's like I think one of the only battle royale games that's done a system like that. From my knowledge, I don't think Arma's had a similar system, or none of these other battle royale games have done like a core system, which is why I bring up Minecraft Hunger Games.
I was gonna say you
Yeah.
went really
Minecraft.
wide with this because like
Yeah.
I've never played Minecraft in my life.
Me like
Really?
I
Me
played
neither.
once maybe.
Great game. I love
What?
no
Really?
no yeah
Of
like,
course the Fortnite
I
players
played a
said
lot of factions like Minecraft. I don't know, you probably don't know what that is, but Chad knows what it is.
Oh my god.
You guys know Minecraft factions, PvP.
But that sounds sick. Like some reason for people to want to be in the middle, like whether it's like an item or like more loot or something.
Well, they have llamas and they have like creates. But the problem with that is
It'll
you don't
not-
know
you
where it
don't
is,
know
so
about
it's
that.
super random.
Well, what if it always dropped to the center of this?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, what if there was always a llama in
That'd
the
be
middle
cool
of a
LTM.
circle?
I'd like to see the
That
game do
would
something
be
like that.
Well,
really
how
fun
long is
to
an average
test
game?
out.
60 minutes?
An average game,
Yeah.
solos, 30 minutes.
Really?
If you
Really?
to win,
Oh, I guess yeah. When
well,
you win,
the
because
like victory,
It's actually surprisingly
because
30
games you
minutes.
lose quick. Like I looked at my average game time and it was like 2.5 minutes. Because so much of the time you just spawn die
And
and
die,
like
yeah,
10
yeah.
seconds.
Yeah, I'll
is,
say
like 10
Well,
25,
when you
30
go
minutes.
long, like to
Really?
the
Yeah.
end, it's like 25
Wow.
minutes. I'd say.
Then, like, at some point past, like, the 20-minute mark, you just have llamas drop in or some stupid stuff drop in.
Ayy.
Because it's, like, only at the very end are people going to be... it's just anti-late game stuff.
Or if the middle,
Mm-hmm.
like you just instantly refreshes your HP and shield. You
Oh.
just get full HP shield when you touch
Maybe
the middle
if
of the
there's, like, a
circle.
super buff, like a mega heal, like, from, like... I don't
Yeah,
know.
You get a third shield.
Yeah, yeah.
well, that's
Oh,
like
that'd be
the
cool.
that's kind of like
Arena.
the LTM that came out, the gauntlet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting. thing.
Sorta.
Dude,
Yeah.
by the way, just side note, that's when I knew Fortnite was gonna like, be successful.
When
When
that
they
came
did
out?
that.
Yeah?
So the
Thanos?
reason why is because like
What took you so long?
no, okay. The reason why is because I talked
God.
to Edison, the person who helps work with us, and like from an engineering standpoint, they had to spend months to make that work, and it went out without a hitch. It was perfectly like done,
Timed?
and no
Oh,
one
yeah.
had problems with it at all, and it was just like a very seamless experience. So people were just like, "Oh, this is great." But like I've seen so many integrations with like major corporations, major stuff just flop, and it was like they announced it like a couple days before they did it, and that's it. And it's like just to see that level of execution, I was like, holy shit!
Yeah,
Epic
Epic's kinda
Games,
nutty.
good shit, good shit.
But
Sorry. That's
just
good.
in general,
That's a
I wanted
good
to
view.
ask you guys what you think a developer should look for when it comes to balance changes. Because I see a lot of people,
Oh, yeah.
or like how a
Balancing
game should
toward the
go about that.
casual,
Yeah,
balancing toward the
exactly. I see a
hardcore.
lot of people going back
I
and
think
forth
peop-
on that. How
yeah.
do you perfect it?
Yeah,
Or
I think,
is it even possible to make a game equally enjoyable for casual players and for competitive players?
I think League does it off the pro player. I'm pretty sure. Like even if there's a champion that's kind of OP, like in solo queue, until it's busted out in pro play, they're not going to nerf it for the most part. Like that's like kind of what happens most of the time. Like it gets played in pro game once, and then they're like, oh shit, this is kind of OP. Or I'm sure Riot knows because I've even heard from writers like they're like, oh, this champion actually is like hidden OP, like, but we're not going to nerf it because it's not played as much. So once it's played enough, or it's like played in pro and like got a lot of exposure,
in
then they
pro?
nerf it. Okay, listen here.
No, seriously.
Oh no, wait, what did I say? I thought I said prayed in pro. I thought you were making
Oh,
fun of me.
no, I didn't hear that.
Oh. Yeah, but I like Riot system. Like it's like pretty much just off like what's in pro play. I don't
You
think
like that
Yeah.
because you're competitive.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And like you play at a high level, so it makes sense.
Wait,
But-
you know I did a video about this that like I'd spend like 3 hours making content about, right?
Go ahead. This is your
Like she
chance
said, she doesn't watch your
to
content.
reiterate
Yeah, I know, I know,
and
she doesn't
perhaps
watch my
link
shit.
people to youtube.com
No,
/Scarra.
the biggest thing, like the TLDR about everything in the end is that your player base gets better over time.
that's my view on
Yeah,
it.
and
That's what I was gonna say.
So like, you can't balance around worse players because at some point, like the game is only enjoyable is as you're getting better. Like you feel that like you're getting better.
The progress.
It gets worse if like you're getting better and you feel like the game is getting worse. So like you balance around better players because eventually, the average standard of your user base is gonna be at like. It could start at like this level and then go up and then go up. So League has been out for like 9 years. If you watch professional play from when I used to play and watch like solo queue now, like diamond level, it has like better mechanics, literally, or just like better players. Like that's
Jeez.
how good
Yeah.
League of Legends players
I'm a
are.
season 1 professional.
Dude, I watched like Hot Shot play like back in the day. Like I saw some like Cho out. I'm like, dude, what are these players doing? And they're like in the world championship. Like, let's go.
Like
He's-
seriously,
And I'm just like,
these
this is
people on the
shit.
table right now that play League could go back and be professional players in early season. Like not
so
just professional
funny.
players, best of the region kind of stuff. Like that's how good players have gotten.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing? Who are you laughing about?
Laughing about what?
I said these players. Which of the players are you laughing about?
No, that's not why I was laughing. I was just the general concept
Okay,
of
okay.
like me fucking world championship.
I mean, you're basically doing that in Fortnite.
Yeah, that's a different game though.
True.
But yeah. So the
Yeah.
best thing is the player base gets better, so you balance around like higher level play. I will say there's a caveat where like if something is like an outside variable, like really like just stomping like noobs, like literally just like every time they play against this champion, they're getting shit stomped.
Yeah.
You should nerf that in
Yeah.
some way, shape, or form. But for the most part, you balance around high levels of play just simply based on the fact that your player base is going to get better over time.
Yeah.
That's the only argument I have for it.
Yeah. I think it's super ignorant when people online are like, they're balancing toward casuals. They need to balance toward pros. I'm like, no, you need to it needs to be a flow. It needs development. I don't think it's like, okay, we're going to balance 100% on the top of the tier players, or we're going to balance toward casuals. But it's how do you make the transition from these casual players into high-level play? And that's where I think balance should be done.
Speaking of that,
Or how
though,
it should be
as
done.
someone who's obviously more casual than you guys are in games generally, my biggest issue with Fortnite is just that there's no ranking system whatsoever.
Yeah.
So as someone who's trying to get better, it doesn't really feel that satisfying to progress in small ways, unless you're getting that number one spot.
You should play Realm Royale.
Wait, why?
Oh yeah.
You have to
Is it
explain the
different?
ranks.
Wait, you're the one who explained it.
No,
Oh,
you were
it
the
was
one.
No, it was Cutie that explained it then.
Oh,
Aren't
yeah.
people
yeah.
getting master rank in one day?
Yeah, no, I saw
Because they're
the
just
game's
shitting
been
on a
out
bunch of
3
random
days,
people?
and they're like, oh, I'm masters now. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
What's
people
going
are
on here?
people are showing that off on Twitter and shit, like, we're masters.
So Realm Royale, you can never demote, and your
What?
rank is based on
Ooh.
your wins.
What?
I know what I'm playing.
You're
now.
literally getting your
Yeah, it's what-
mind.
Oh!
right.
So
Like,
everybody
you
just ends up
Yeah,
masters.
so everyone that's some
Oh, that's
point,
not really nice though.
That's like
either.
going to gym class, right? You got a little softball tournament. You're like, hey, you did a good job, kid. Here's a participation award.
But
You hit the ball once.
You get enough of those, dude. You'll be masters.
Yeah,
in that game.
exactly.
I'm just saying. That's the rank system.
That's
right
awful. That's trash.
Yeah. No,
my
because
opinion.
I remember, and this is so old, but when I first started playing League, I don't know if
wonder why
any of you
everyone's
guys
playing that
remember this,
game.
but there were custom lobbies
Feels
for
so
people who were level 21 and under. And I remember I would play in these custom lobbies so much because, you're playing against people who are equal caliber, and
yeah.
you can tell when you make a better play and you're progressing in those small ways and it feels good, right? I remember when I got to level 22, I was so sad that I couldn't join anymore. But yeah, that, and even just ranked play, you can tell when you're getting better. For me, it's just
You guys think a rank system for Fortnite would be healthy?
I think it'd be terrible.
yeah, what?
Yeah?
Why?
Okay.
I would
I'd
love to
play it
match up
more.
against people who are
Look,
closer to my caliber.
Two things. Me and Mo, we just talked about how we're not playing Fortnite a lot because it's not competitive
enough?
right? So it doesn't have a ladder. It doesn't really grip me without one. But with it, I think I think Battle Royale has potentially some of the worst problems with ranked of all game genres.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's the reason what makes Fortnite good is
Building
building
system allows a lot more flexibility when it comes to determining skill.
and even put it this way: there's 100 players in the game. Assuming everyone's equal skill, and you're and you're playing against everyone at your same skill level, you will win a Fortnite game 1 out of 100. Does that make you feel good?
Wait, sorry, could you repeat that?
You'll win a Fortnite
I
game
get what
1
you're
time out of 100.
saying,
And it's
but
you're
that's
playing against everyone at the same level.
He's saying if you put 100 Challenger League players in a lobby, all to play against each other, and it's one's gonna win. You're all the same level.
There's got to be enough variable to
the problem
show.
is that's different than in League, because in League, if everyone's playing challengers, 5 people win, 5 people lose, and
50%.
You love to play against better players around your skill level, but a lot of casual players
I
ranked will
see.
kill the game. A lot of streamers ranked gonna kill their viewer base. I bet you, because what ends up happening is people think every
stomping is
streamer that
legit.
plays Fortnite is a god.
Yeah.
Because they keep beating
pub stomping.
people who are worse.
And
yeah.
so when rank comes out and people can actually put numbers next to other people, it's gonna get
That'd be so funny and so interesting.
Oh, no,
I'd
I
love
think
to see
streamers
that.
wouldn't play. Certain streamers wouldn't play ranked. Plain and simple.
I think
I
they
think
have
they'd be pressured.
to.
I think they'd be
Yeah,
pressured.
They definitely
yeah,
be
they
pressured.
have to
In League,
keep up.
In League,
Yeah.
who streams that doesn't play rank?
Exactly.
The viewers
Yeah.
will force you to play rank. You have to do it.
100%.
And so, but the thing about Fortnite is, so now we've officially established they can't be all equal
Sorry.
skill. So that means that when you're doing rank for Fortnite, your buckets are gonna have to be huge. So in League, it's Master, Challenger, Diamond, and the 5 other things, right? And in Fortnite, it's well, if everyone's in the Diamond level, you can't have 100 players in your game be Diamonds. Instead, what's gonna happen is you're gonna have 60% of your players be Diamond or 40%. And then the buckets will fill out over the lower elos. That way, it'll normalize the game, and the lower and the higher ones.
Oh,
And so,
I
that's the
see.
problem with ranked.
But
for
then
Battle
who would
Royales.
really want to be super low?
Well, I mean,
on
no
that
one will want
bucket?
to, but it'll end up being a system where you have to go that way because at some level when you're like going up, you will just lose too much.
But I wonder if that's
People-
that's better than how it is now.
So the variable or the major variable wouldn't only be winning, ideally.
Sure. You'd see like, oh, I got to this, I got to that, but to be honest, no one really
Winning, yeah.
cares about getting top 10
Yeah.
at the moment.
At that level.
Which
Yeah,
feels
yeah.
so bad.
Or like, like for me,
No, it's good. Depends on your community.
for me, it's not the end game screen just shows you, right? You don't have an end game screen unless you're a winner. But let's say they have an end game screen for like top 10. You see the escalating person, like, midst of
Ooh,
the top.
you get like +1 LP at 10,
yeah.
+2 LP
Or
at 9.
it's something like that. Like the Smash endgame screen when you beat up the people and you see the guy who's winning. He does like his custom animation. You see the losers like, oh, here's second, third, fourth.
Yeah.
But like they're at least seen. But right now, unless you're the winner, you don't get anything, right? You're just shit.
And that's why I feel like it sucks
Well, I mean,
to
even
progress
when you win,
in
you don't get
Fortnite.
shit.
yeah, I mean, true, but you get the acknowledgement, you get the
satisfaction.
screenshot, and you get to like do an emote, right?
Yeah.
But like, you don't get to do anything if you're like second, third, fourth place. So like, for me, there is no appeal being anything less than first when playing a battle royale.
And it's
Yeah.
hard
And
to
it's
get
hard
the
as
first.
fuck to get the
When
first.
you're
Like,
just
you're
learning.
playing with me. I need 3 pros to carry my ass. Maybe we'll get the number 1. Like it's like it's a tough ordeal. So I think that battle royales have the hardest rank system possible.
Yeah,
Like
I agree.
PUBG released a rank system. I talked to Edison about it. Literally, I heard it did such a bad thing for their Western audience. I don't know exactly.
It was just
Didn't
like a
it like
point system.
reset?
It was, it was
regularly?
super weird because there's also so many hackers in the game that didn't catch, and like literally the top of the
shit.
leaderboard, they all had like
Oh.
Was that a
95.
hacking issue?
And I haven't played PUBG in months, but they used to like
But if it were to come out,
leaderboards
ranks
literally used to be
would be
95% like every single person, and they'd only show you like the top 10, I'm pretty sure, and then like you could see your rank too, like on next, like it would show you like where you're like based, your like points.
So it
Bots are 1 to 100.
Yeah,
you're like
it's-
3,520.
it's so weird because it's like, yeah, you'd have to quantify it based on like not first place finishes because not everyone
Yeah.
can win. But then it's like, okay, they did a point system, so no one has
think
done a rank system for battle royale that's good yet.
It would have to be completely.
And so-
I think it would have to completely redefine what ranked even what we even think ranked is. to be
Fortnite
honest.
has like the hardest thing where they have to like set the standard
Yeah.
a really really high level play for 100 people. That's why I'm looking forward to the battle royale. Just for the
I'm
sole
actually super
reason
interested
Of
in that.
rank?
as
Wait,
well.
Battle Royale
No.
or doing or Battle Royale?
of they are. It's
20 people. Yeah.
20 is a
Oh.
lot
I figured,
different
yeah.
because it's a lot less. Maybe they could do more stuff with it. Maybe they're throwing abilities in it, so it's somewhat mobile-esque like Realm Royale. I'm interested because it's the one that aspires to not compete with these hyper level 100 like people. Like,
Yeah.
But then you also see BR games come out and they want to have like 1,000 people in it.
oh yeah, they're stupid.
That just sounds
Oh yeah.
like,
Have you seen
not a
that?
great time.
Have you seen that shit?
yeah.
Wait, I actually haven't.
I have
thought you
never
were
seen
Yeah,
kidding.
No,
that's a real
seriously.
thing.
Yeah.
There's like this development company. I think they're making like a 500 player or like a 1,000 player battle
1,000
royale
player.
game. Like a open persistent world and all this crazy like stuff. Yeah.
I don't remember
And
what
it's funny
called,
because like
but I'm
on their
sure
project page they're like,
chat could remind us.
yeah, we're working on
Was
the
it
technology.
Fallout?
I was like, see you in 30 years.
Yeah, what the 100 for me is like ambitious. I'm glad you guys ended at it.
Yeah.
Anything above 100.
At that
is,
point,
like,
why not just
good
make
luck.
it like why not just make a survival game at that point?
Yeah,
Like
holy
just
A
shit.
casual
open
player will
world
never
versus
win with like
survival game.
500
Yeah,
people.
with 1,000 people, you're a casual player. Good luck. You're not
Like,
even.
it's already
touched.
hard enough for casual players to win in Fortnite. Like,
The interesting thing is how do you promote aggression at that point?
Oh my, bouncing around
How do
You
you
literally just get
promote
shot in
players
the
that
back.
actually want to like?
a shit show,
yeah, I don't
basically.
know. Good luck, have fun.
dude, that sounds terrible. 500 players just getting shot in the back over and over.
You know that
You
brings
never
an
have to
interesting
fight.
topic because I mean, what would Fortnite look like if it wasn't 100 players? in a
If it
lobby?
was what? Less
maybe
or more?
if it was less, maybe if it was like quicker games, like maybe I don't know, maybe go with like a 20-point system.
I don't think I'd mind so much if there was also a good ranking
be
system.
interesting.
So like that progression
Just to, like,
felt
see it.
good.
I think
So
it'd be
the funniest
interesting.
thing is like
Dynamics.
I see like League and Dota as having like the claim there are kings of MOBA, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Heroes of the Storm, which is like it's like the prince. It's like it's the short prince. It's like a
Aw.
little midget. And then so like it's like it
Goddamn.
aspires to be grown up, right?
Yeah.
But like
But it's a midget, so
but,
it
like,
never
the-
will be. Is
but-
that what you're trying
no,
to say?
But like they have like Dota, which is super hardcore, and League, which is like medium level hardcore, and HOTS, which is like really easy. And I think that like if you set the standard for battle royales in Fortnite and PUBG at 100. So if you go like less and less and less, what you start to realize is like less doesn't mean more. Because like at some point, people just get pissed by the game itself not having enough options. So like I think like once it gets down to like, if you start shrinking it and shrinking the overall map, maybe people just enjoy the game less. Because I think like 100, Fortnite's pretty good.
Yeah,
like I drop random places, I like play the game.
It's like fun.
Yeah, it's fun, and I'm just
almost like a storyline. I don't know.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun with it. Every season they're like mixing up the map a little bit. They're adding new weapons, all kinds of stuff, new skins. I'm sure they.
Oh, do you think that's a really good? Okay, well, this is off topic, but like after you go off, I want to talk about like map and map direction.
I'm
basically.
good. Go for it.
Oh, okay, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, do you think it's better for one map, change it up often, or multiple maps with different themes, whatever?
You take this.
So I played PUBG, and I loved the first map they had, and I really enjoyed the game. And then that's actually when I quit, when they released the second map.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they made it so you couldn't choose. You're forced. It's random. And when the new map came out, what they made it, legit, like 95% of the time you get the new map. Like you couldn't just leave the game and try to find the old map. Legit, they forced it on the players because like, and people just didn't like it, and it made me quit. I hated it. Because it's just like a complete sand map where it's just like has to do with sniping. It's like you don't know the areas. Like I'm not trying to play the game. Like I'm not trying to learn a whole new map. I'd rather just play the old map. I enjoyed it, and yeah, that's what made me quit.
I think the game can only be balanced around one map because it's not like an Overwatch or a CS:GO type of game. People need to like because it's so much bigger. It's literally like an MMO map. You're dropping down to World of Warcraft. Like literally, like you press M in World of Warcraft, that's the map you're dropping down into. So like you need the casual player is gonna take a lot of time to learn. Like, oh, here's the cubby over here, here's the chest here. I played the game. I'm just like, where are the chest spots in this game? What the fuck? Like,
and it takes a long time to get used to those things.
Like you're explaining to me, oh yeah, when you drop, you have to drop at like this angle to try and make sure you go over here. I'm like, okay, and like I'm like learning. Oh, people like leave the trees up at the very end to make sure they don't see you when they're trying to run into places, and that's like a lot of information for a casual player to learn. And the game gets like really, really
on top of the complicated building system and all that. Yeah.
Now imagine if there was like different maps every time. Having too much information is gonna scare people. And I think that it's just like unless your game is built off multiple maps, Overwatch, CS:GO,
or the more simple concepts.
Yeah, no one else has been able to translate it as well, except for maybe I think the only game I've ever heard of that translated it. Vainglory recently did a 5v5 mode. I think they transferred from like 4v4 to 5v5 or something like that. And like they did a world championship
3v3
or 3v3 to 5v5. I'm not sure. I think they did translate it well. And then everything else, like just think of a league, right? We had Dominion. Oh, where is it? It's gone. Twisted Tree Line, no support. Garbage. The only thing they have is ARAM, and then like that's it. They support ARAM, and it's so much different from League. It's literally they know it's for casual players. Yeah, for just want to have fun. That's fine. But like, there's no other main map. You're playing League, you play on this one map, and you know what map you're playing on.
I feel like Epic Games was pretty smart in the sense that they didn't just throw a whole new map at us.
Yeah.
They only changed it a little bit, and I think that'll be the trend that we see from here on out. And I wanted to bring up something kind of interesting. So, Earth is like, I feel like it's equivalent to Blitz for Fortnite. It's like the fun mode that comes out every now and then. And I don't know if you know, but League had a big problem with Earth in the sense that they couldn't keep bringing it back because it was actually taking players away from the game. So every time they would bring it back, people would be so excited, and then like half of those people who were excited would just like leave and never come back because like they just hated going back to the regular Summoner's Rift.
Yeah.
So I really wonder if Epic Games has noticed anything like that with their special modes, or if they will down the line.